I'm Margaret Koolman from soulastrology.com. I like to use the moment of a new moon as a birth chart for the following month, and my comments are meant to be helpful in terms of living through that month in the most growthful and smooth way. I'd ask you not to worry too much about understanding the astrology, but go for the drift, the feel of the month. The 14th of February is Valentine's Day. A very dear friend of mine once explained to me how to use Valentine's Day, not to pick just the romantic partner of your desire, but actually to experience the fullness of unconditional love for anything that you can, just to let yourself have the experience of feeling it. Not just to feel it, but also to express it and share it. What we have beautifully this year on Valentine's Day is that Venus is approaching Jupiter very closely, so they're operating together. Venus will be entering Pisces on the 11th of February, and it gives us all this opportunity to love everything if we possibly could, but that's difficult. So if you could just choose something or someone that you can feel unconditional love for, even if it's only temporarily, let yourself bathe in it and see what it feels like. Jupiter being right beside the Venus and actually being the old ruler of Pisces emphasizes the love, emphasizes that unbounded, unconditional loving ability. The two of them are connecting with a sextile, that green line, to Pluto in Capricorn. And this Pluto, of course, is part of this squaring by Saturn, the red line, for actually some months. It's already been there happening, the tension that we have been feeling about trying to make changes that feel impossible, and it continues for this year, really, for a lot of this year. So in a way, the February, the loving, is the sort of reconciliation of that. Having the quincunx or brown line towards the Saturn, it's as though we have another way of doing it, another way of appreciating what's necessary. And what works with quincunxes is if you make someone else's need greater than your own, just looking at it that way. So the disastrous earthquake and any other apparent sort of disasters that happen on a natural plane are like opportunities for us to allow our loving to have more power than we normally would. It's as though a great disaster brings us all together. The boundaries of nation and religion, everything, disappear in the effort of helping. So I think that's what's being pointed at, that the love is the thing to focus on. Beautifully, Mars being in Leo and connecting, although it's an opposition, it's still connecting to Mercury, which is about our communication, in Aquarius, which I'll talk about in a minute. The Mars brings joy with it. So when we really get active in this helping mode, it brings a joyful quality of sharing, which Aquarius doesn't necessarily have, because the main point of Aquarius is its gift of vision, correct vision, and that requires that it steps back from situations, often looking aloof. Mercury trine Saturn this month could indicate that communication can come out perhaps a bit bossy or a bit autocratic, but an important thing to remember in group situations where difficulties are being sorted out, rather than attacking the person who's trying to organize it all, is to allow whoever is capable of doing the job to get on with it and support them with whatever our own skills are. Although the flavour of the month seems to be this loving, which can be quite an emotional experience, the main thrust of the new moon itself is Aquarian, and the sun and moon are right on Chiron and Neptune, 25 and 26 degrees, very close. So the Chiron and Neptune conjunction has been going on for months. This new moon focuses on it. I feel that with Chiron being the wounded healer and Neptune dissolving boundaries and bringing the spirit closer in towards healing, that this new moon is about healing the way we are as human beings, with each other. Interestingly, it doesn't make any connections to the rest of the chart, and neither does its ruler, the Uranus in Pisces. So it's as though we need to go towards that humanitarian side, looking for the inspiration of how to heal, how to manage difficult situations that Neptune and Chiron are offering when we're by ourselves, and then coming or in quiet moments inside, and then making a note of it so that later, when we're in the situation, we can recall what it was. It's one of those times, I think, where writing notes of the inspired ideas you get in your dreams, or when you're quietly pondering nothing particular, that you actually write those notes and stick them on the wall, so that when you need them in relationship or conversation or whatever, or just dealing with the physical world, that you actually look up and notice, oh yes, I'm supposed to be doing it like that. And that, the Aquarian, that is to step back for a moment and observe the truth, rather than getting caught up in how everybody else is feeling, or how you're feeling, or the amount of history that rises with all its emotional content into your thinking processes. Actually, of course, with the Mercury trining Saturn, the thinking processes themselves are likely to be quite clear this month. It could be a very good month for scanning your past, the story of your growth and your life, your family and everything, scanning it all and gleaning the value from it. Neptune and Chiron have been together for some months now. The new moon being on them really focuses on the healing of our faith in ourselves, our faith in humanity, and the dissolving of the sense that our differences separate us, so that we recognise that we're all just different members of the same human family. With Jupiter together with Venus in this chart in Pisces, it's emphasising the relatedness of us all. It's just it's showing how this dissolving is happening on a huge level at the moment. I think ever since Jupiter went into Pisces last month, lots of people have been delving deep and into their possessions, and there's been a lot of clearance of emotional baggage, just a general trawling through our emotional field. A very good thing to do. An expanded interpretation of this chart can be read on the website soulastrology.com. In the long run, there is nothing to fear, but human experience tends to be of the moment-by-moment content of awareness, and you feel it like sand through the hourglass, slipping out of your control. Who are you when you grasp at the sand? And who are you really? Relax that grip, your fearful hold on survival, and feel the flow of life moving constantly from spirit into everyday activity. Be with the truth of each moment, accepting and open. Watch the myriad ways life appears as the dance of light through dust motes and river beds, and let your heart love it all.